Love podcasts, hate nonsense. It's the PoliticsJOE podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Is that the
yeah, that's how we
love
start.
podcast, hate nonsense?
Yeah.
Shit. Wrong way around.
Yeah, time to leave.
I'm
Yeah,
out.
see you, Finn.
Sirens.
The opposite slogan for my stuff. Love nonsense, hate podcasts.
I keep launching them. Keep launching them. Finn Taylor is here.
Hi.
Hi, Finn.
Hi, man.
Great to have you with us.
Lovely to be here, finally.
Yeah, I guess the return leg.
yeah. PoliticsJOE away.
Yeah.
In a basement, that's very narratively satisfying.
It is, yeah.
Do you get
We've gone
stopped
full
for that?
circle. Yes.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah, I
that's
do.
nice.
Yeah.
Career-wise as well.
Yeah. It's a minor blip. Well, I guess we'll call it a minor blip because I don't have an LBC show anymore. So
But that, was,
Well,
that actually
well.
isn't... That's for different reasons.
Yeah.
It can't have helped.
Yeah.
But
it was a slow burn cancellation, maybe.
absolutely. They watched it 20 times.
It's a quiet pillow over the head rather than summarily shot. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
If people don't know what we're talking about, I appeared on Finn's YouTube show, Finn versus the Internet.
Yeah.
Which is excellent.
Very funny.
Thank you.
Very funny. And I didn't... I knew what I was going in for because I'd watched it. But then you go and sit in front of a green screen and you realise you've just sort of surrendered everything.
Yeah. I think every time it happens I see it happen with every guest. They come in, they're shaking hands, they're like, "Fuck, I love this show, I love these clips," and then it's them, and then they see their brand deals just evaporate, and they think, "Oh no, what have I done?" And I think no matter how much someone says they love it, there's always that moment I see in their eyes that, I mean, it gets me off, I won't lie. It really gets me going.
Has anyone taken it especially badly?
There was one guest that shouldn't have done it and then had a massive panic attack, and we just made it Patreon only, and that was like, we don't want to do that, but...
So you monetised their panic attack?
Yes.
That's the
Yeah,
result.
yeah,
Cool.
exactly. Yeah.
I guess that's the
Like we're
greater
doing now.
economy.
Like we're doing now.
That's what you're doing now. I've just come off a big boys' weekend, and I didn't want to cancel.
God bless you.
So here I am.
Thank you,
I
Finn.
am.
Yeah. Appreciate that. Ed,
Yes.
how are we?
Good, thank you. No boys' weekend for me.
I also had quite a bro-coded Sunday night. I'm going to go see Shane Gillis.
Excellent.
Had 7 pints. Also slightly panic attacky right now.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm
Seven
steering the
pints
ship.
on a Sunday is
It's stupid.
90s stuff, really.
No, it really
You're
is.
not optimising your week after 7 pints.
It's not grind set. No, I'm not drinking Saratoga water. I'm not rubbing bananas into my face.
You can start.
That guy is strange.
Yes.
Yeah, you seen the video we're talking about? This
No.
is super.
Is it like that
jacked.
Japanese woman who puts bread in her face and guys jack off to it? I think. I don't know. A Japanese woman does something and someone's jacking off. A
It's
stopped clock is right. Twice a day.
it was kind of like that. It was like a grind set thing,
Yeah.
right?
He like gets up 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Then kind of does nothing for like 2 hours, but it's like
Well,
very
he's just got up at 3 a.m. He needs to sort of reckon with that.
sits staring at a wall, but
Just going, fuck, that was stupid. Why have I done that? I'm absolutely knackered.
and now I've got to do a 4-hour wait session.
And now I've got to wait. What? My wife's still in bed.
Yeah, his I assume romantic partner is kind of a sub character in the video because her hands just kind of appear in shot and like present him with things
Right.
in quite a servile,
Yeah.
way. But anyway, he was rubbing bananas on his face.
And you were receiving that this morning.
Yeah.
Rubbing or smushing?
It's the peel, so
Oh, I see. Right, so just banana peel. That is different.
yeah.
No.
Banana peel facial. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think Ed, maybe you will guide Finn and I through this record
Okay.
because I feel sensitive.
Yeah. I've realised that really, for me to be optimal on this podcast, I should have had 4 pints before I came on, because I'm at that point where you're drinking so much that you need 4 pints and then you're flying.
Yeah.
Then you're your best self.
You need to. You have to soften the landing.
You have to climb down the mountain.
Yeah.
You can't just jump off.
No.
I've jumped off.
You need a rope at least.
I stopped. I just hard stopped. Last night, just hard stopped.
What time?
No, it was in. So was it about 4 a.m. Sunday morning, and then nothing since then. And I had started to have a beer last night. I went, oh no, and
I think you need a couple.
yeah,
I genuinely have a couple.
I agree, but I was back into my very real home life.
Yep.
Which it was a lovely pause for a weekend. Listen to techno in an abandoned Nazi anti-aircraft tower in Hamburg. That's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was a field trip. I have to
And
do
then your real
podcasts.
life.
And then my real life drastically caught up with me. Two toddlers and a wife who'd had them all weekend.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's a trade off there that you need
Yeah.
to. You need to say.
I was walking back into my own Nazi anti-aircraft tower, which is what I call my wife.
She's the commandant.
Yeah, she's the real commandant. Yeah.
I think there's also a slightly having become a father myself. There is a moment if you're away and you come back, it is very much like I've been looking after them now, so it's your turn.
Oh, there's totally that, and that is fair. And
Absolutely.
she also, when I told her I was going to Hamburg, she instantly booked a retaliatory holiday to Sicily. So that's just how it works. When you have young kids, you go, fuck that, I'm doing this. You go, okay, well, I guess that's 1-1.
Marriage, yeah, it's kind of like the Cold War.
It's a one-upman.
You put
It
your
is.
missiles here, I'll put mine in
it's totally
Turkey.
that. It's brinksmanship. And I would say Sicily for 3 nights is not Hamburg for 2 nights.
No.
But I'm not going to have that argument here.
In public.
I'm not going to air her dirty.
We'd have to bring her in
Yeah,
her in the
we would.
litigate.
We would, yeah.
It wouldn't be fair.
Yalta.
No. As the independent adjudicators of marriage,
Yeah.
we do need to do this.
Are you married? Are you?
No, I've got a girlfriend.
Right.
But,
Well done.
There was
No, you get a vibe.
there was actually
First one, second one.
on our last record, Finn. Ed posited the question: was I, as a child, only ever one YouTube video away from becoming an incel? And
Yeah.
it's done some business over the weekend. A lot of people have watched it. There's been some feedback.
people aren't taking it well.
Oh, right.
But
They're suggesting we're talking about adolescence.
I've not seen it yet, but I've seen on the plane yesterday, the 3 screens I could see, they were all watching it. It was quite weird. But you're like, okay, this is a huge
You've
thing.
passively consumed it.
No, I will start watching it, but again, I
good.
don't think I'm in the right mate.
Now's not the time.
I can already get the sense it's intense. And I'd like baby reindeer now. No, no thanks.
Boiling point, no.
No.
Yeah.
Uncut Gems is in my head right now.
oh,
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
So I'm not touching any of that.
do you know? I was one of those. Uncut Gems is possibly one of the last films that I had a really visceral, like emotional reaction to, because as he's spiraling,
Yeah.
I was feeling the
amazing.
spiral. It's
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah.
Bit of film, but I know what you're saying. Yeah, it would fuck me.
It's the one
Fuck me up.
the one take adolescence thing. I'm like with the nausea, I can't have one take.
Yeah.
I need quick cuts. Do you know what I mean?
You actually don't notice it until the final episode, I would say.
I think I'd notice it. In my
No, you
current
would.
state.
You are operating up.
Yeah. I'd be like, why aren't they cutting away? Why aren't they, this is too intense. Give me a break.
Heightened sensitivity.
Yeah.
But you felt the need to clarify that not only are you not an incel, you do have a girlfriend.
I was asked,
Yeah.
and I answered the question. so not really sure what else I could have done.
Absolutely Paxmaning him, aren't you? Do you have a girlfriend? What's her name? Where does she
You
live?
said you were
America? I
nervous.
don't believe it. You're an idiot.
Checkmate, Campbell.
But it's good to hear about what I can look forward to further down the line.
Yeah.
In
Well,
the
do you
future
guys
marriage.
not anti up like that? It's not retaliatory.
No, not really.
Okay.
At all, I would say.
But you have not. Yeah, I mean, it's you don't. Until you have kids, you can't. You really have nothing to worry about, but you can never gain that perspective before you have kids. So it's like pointless to say that to
Yeah.
you, because it's like that's not how anxiety works, is it? It's not relative to something that might happen.
It's based on reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, all to look forward to, Ed.
Yeah.
All to look
How
forward
exciting.
to. Yeah.
to one up my girlfriend. should I book in some time now?
Yeah.
Say in like 6 years or something.
Maybe.
A boys' weekend.
You look like the kind of guy who books a boys' weekend 6 years in advance.
We all free?
Yeah.
How about Easter
I've cleared
weekend?
the diaries. Easter weekend.
2031.
Perfect. Easter weekend. Absolutely perfect.
Imagine the text landing in the group chat where someone is organising something so far in advance that you couldn't possibly get out of it by saying, no, I think I'll be busy that weekend.
Yeah.
That's like, how do I escape?
That's what girls do. They're fucking obsessed with calendars.
You got a calendar?
Hey?
You must have a calendar.
I get several calendars, yeah.
Right, okay.
But he's not obsessed with them.
I don't mean
you
physical.
present to be male.
No. I was in the shared calendar.
Oh,
the
right, okay.
diarising.
Yeah?
That's yeah.
You and
I'm
your
much
wife
more.
have one?
I'm in the moment. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah?
Yeah.
You just walked in here today.
Oh, fuck it. Let's do it.
I'm in the area.
I'm in the area.
Are you guys doing a podcast?
You know, why not?
White guys in their 30s are in your area looking to podcast.
Imagine how excited they will be. Like your fans be like, we can get Finn.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
how
yeah.
easy
All
it
you
is
got
to
to do
get
is
Finn.
just hang out in central London, and I'll be there at some point.
What are the Finn Taylor fans like?
Well, I mean, Ed's a fan, right?
I am.
I think that's the. I mean, they are. They're lost young men, and I've sort of. It's kind of like it's the Tate safety net, I guess. So I think there's some. I'm catching them just before they get to him. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. I tell you, the History Podcast does have more female listeners.
Does it?
I mean, not many, but there are. Yeah.
Some.
Because when you go into what I'm learning is that the female history is sort of like anything that could be mapped onto Game of Thrones. So it's like Wars of the Roses, witches, they love all that. And then when my interest kicks in, which is kind of like, Empire, Scramble for Africa, Nazis, obviously, that's guy time and stuff, right? But because we've been because Horatio is much more my co-host on the pod, he's much more he's ancient world. He's fucked. He's gone. He's talking about the Sumerians and stuff. He's not getting a bank loan at any point. Yeah, he's done. He's completely finished. But he's into the ancient stuff, and so no. Finn Taylor fans, they're actually really nice. I take a piss out of them a lot for having neck beards. They look smelly, but they're all comedy fans. I mean, when I was I haven't toured for a few months, but they're like sound. They just like a laugh, and they don't really care. They don't take things too seriously. So I feel quite lucky.
Do you call them Fincels, or do they call themselves Fincels?
I started calling them that. Someone said it. Someone tweeted me after a show saying I'm now a verified Fincel, and I thought that's just too perfect because that is kind of the demographic. And then they've taken that on themselves.
Maybe what you wouldn't know because you haven't seen the show, but in Parliament they've been talking about we need to show adolescence
in schools.
Yeah,
and in Parliament everyone needs to watch it. Maybe they're getting it wrong, and maybe we should be directing them to your YouTube channel, and it should be Finn versus the internet. That's the safety net.
Yeah,
that's how you get them out.
I'd still keep adolescence in the mix. I wouldn't say it's
complimentary.
Binary. Yeah,
Thanks.
Yeah, maybe a Finn versus the internet chaser to lighten the mood. I don't know.
Which episode as a compliment, as a chaser to adolescents?
Oh Christ, I don't know. M. Fuck it. M. Or
it could all be worse.
Yeah.
What was your favourite? You've watched a few of them, haven't you?
Jackmate, I think was the absolute.
Jackmate
was absolutely. I think it was what really got me onto it was the clips of Jackmate and
they were
Stevie.
great.
That was good.
Is that the name of the other guy?
Stevie. Yeah.
Stevie White. Yeah, bless him. Yeah. Bless him. No, he's doing really well. I caught up with him recently. He's doing really well. It's good to hear.
I think that would be the. It's also as well.
Has he just had his benefits cut? That too much? I don't fucking care. I don't.
You do you, man.
I don't know what's going on. I see the odd thing on Instagram about benefits being cut.
You're
making a valiant effort
reading a sentence.
I thought, come on, someone's got to get this onto the serious stuff.
Yeah, we'll try and make it political. Yeah, there's unfortunately there's form where if Ava's here, she does quite a good job of steering us onto actually talking about the issues at hand.
Yeah,
and when she's not here,
gloves are off.
It's dude's rock time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, nice.
This guy's hanging out through microphones.
And does that affect the views?
Not massively.
Well, yeah, probably. I think so. Yeah,
it's something we don't like to think about.
Right. Okay. Sure.
Because that means we have to stop doing it.
Yeah. No, you need a release, don't you?
You do. And
absolutely.
It's me and Ed.
Absolutely. Should we make a pivot to the political content?
Go on then.
Because they'll be angry.
How far in are we? Yeah, they'll be.
Hell hath no fury like a PoliticsJOE fan scorned.
Declined.
Go on, give them what they want. What do they want? What do your lot want?
What do they? I don't feel I speak for them.
Right.
I think we all have quite an antagonistic relationship with them.
Yeah.
Where
are you annoyed at the fans you have?
Not at them, not at their demographic, but they can be quite unreasonable.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
But listen, if you're doing a politics podcast, the people that are into that are very assertive about their opinion, aren't they? And so if you offer up anything, or if you question stuff, they'll.
Yeah. I've actually I was thinking about this recently because I've been done PoliticsJOE for like 7 years now, and charting sort of the growth of it and the expansion of its audience. And then I was thinking about it in the context of, because it makes its content about politics, that over a certain time horizon, you will eventually, Ed, for example, will eventually have a take or say something that X person in the audience finds so repellent and upsetting that they switch off and they don't like it. And obviously, if you extend that time horizon long enough, it's like, well, you're going to alienate at least half of the audience, let's say, because you will say something about lockdown or Israel or Keir Starmer, and eventually they go, do you know what, I don't like that guy anymore, his takes are bad, and they move on. It's kind of slightly tricky, whereas I guess if you're doing sort of comedic or the comedy side of things, as long as you're making people laugh, then it's kind of...
although everyone has a thing that they, that is too serious to them to laugh about, but if as a comedian you went on stage in front of 1,000 people and you took all those into consideration, professional podcaster now, if you took all those into consideration, then nothing would be funny. Right? Yeah. So either everything's funny or none of it is. Is what I think. I mean, or at least everything can be funny, and whether you can laugh or something or about it or not is kind of is your problem, really. I mean, the stuff, both my kids were born premature. The Lucy Letby jokes, I find like I don't, it's just a bit too real for me. But that's not to say that I wouldn't say don't stop telling them.
I watched I saw a clip of you being roasted recently.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Because I know you, I've met your kids, and I was sort of like, fucking hell, because the jokes are like about Finn's kids, and I was going, fuck me, is that too much? I'm not saying like I want you to talk about it, but it's like, if there is an unspoken or something that you go, do you know, actually that's too far for me, because obviously your brand of comedy, I remember saying to you when we did the record, it's like, you're not worried about offending people because because the material is close to the line, and I think you were just like, if it's funny, you can do it.
Yeah, and it's a taste thing, right? And I think if you take a big swing and if you pull it off, then it's fine, and as long as people are laughing, I think. But also, like, I would never say to someone, don't do a joke about a thing. I just say, well, maybe I can't find it funny, but that's my thing, because everyone's got their own, everyone's got their own shit. Yeah. It's all as bad as each other's, because it's all just essentially bad stuff going into a neuron, isn't it? It's just perception.
Yeah.
I think like what's someone's dad's got cancer, someone's dad's got Alzheimer's. It's just top trumps at one point, isn't it?
I think it also requires a lot of, particularly in our case, you've managed to build up a level of trust with your audience, as well, that they trust you to handle these things. I don't even think it's not even as conscious as that. They're not like,
maybe,
but they understand your humor, and it's something that I maybe find frustrating sometimes about when we get negative feedback. Is like, do you not trust us?
Well, but it's different for you because there will be a point. There'll be points in. I've not listened to this podcast, but
very happy to be here, though.
Yeah, lovely to be here.
You mentioned the wife and kids, so why?
I've not listened to this, but there will be points where you're talking earnestly about politics, and then you'll snap back to talking about goofy shit.
Yeah,
that's difficult because there'll be people who are there for the earnestness, and then. Do you know what I mean? You're gear shifting in a way that I don't really. I can't be asked to gear shift. And I do.
You are kind of driving it sixth though. With
yeah.
We don't slow down. We don't gear shift because we are redlining with the show. Yeah.
But no, but as in you're doing both. It's like, but for me, I always think when there's a comedian on Question Time, I'm like, I wouldn't be asked, but I'd never do it because it's like I don't want people to come and see me because they think I believe in something other than making them laugh. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to cross the streams. And I think that you could even make an argument as to why comedy's been so like culturally chewed over recently, is that there are comedians like wanting to be taken seriously as political, opinion make, and then people clap and
Yeah. Would you make of that? Because I immediately think of what was that special with the Australian? Is it Hannah Gadsby?
Yeah. Nanette. Yeah, right. It's like making it serious, making a serious point. I mean, I'd say it's like everyone got so fussy about the pedantics, the semantics of whether that could be called a comedy special or not, and then but that whole cultural, I just think it's kind of like, I don't know, people don't care anymore. It's boring, and also if you go to a comedy club, none of this stuff actually exists in that space.
Yeah.
There's an unspoken agreement that everyone gets, where it's like, yeah, this isn't like, we're not taking this seriously. That's why we're here. That's why we're in the dark and our phones don't work, is that we're kind of forgetting that we're from the outside world where there's society, where there's rules and politeness, and now it's like a release valve where we go, oh, fire. And it's like a theme park ride, right? But now everything's discourse, isn't it? And so, I don't know.
Does it bother you, or does it scare you? Because when after I did that episode, and I remember texting you, and I came away thinking that you were quite like blasé about the whole thing.
What, the you not being on LBC for a couple of weeks?
Yeah.
Oh, I really didn't. I hope I wasn't coming across as blasé.
No.
I was concerned because it's the one time where there's been a kind of consequence.
Oh, really?
For a guest being on it. But I don't know. I've just been through enough of these life cycles where someone goes mad on Twitter about a thing, and then it dies down, and nothing actually happens because it's not like a crime.
Yeah.
It's not like the word like cancelled sucks in actual sort of sexual misdemeanors and jokes people didn't like, and it's like, well, those are two completely different things.
Thank you for clarifying that for me.
Do you know what I mean? So it's good to remember that.
No, for sure. And I think, like, what does being cancelled actually mean? I'd probably say it's like losing your job.
Yeah,
right?
you weren't
losing
I don't
work.
think you were cancelled in that.
No, I wasn't.
People
And,
were angry.
We also we joked. It was fine. I'm sort of regretting like bringing it up as much as we are in this thing here. But I thought about it then, because I was like, well, if you're at the end of the day, I guess if you're a comedian, you're self-employed. The only way it can really blow back on you is if people stop booking you, right?
Well, yeah, theatres could decide not to host your show and stuff, and there's there's a genuine house of cards that can collapse in the wrong way, but I don't know. I think culturally people have sort of moved on from it. I think
vibe shift.
I think there's been a major vibe shift. I think we'll look back at the era of arguing about comedy and the sort of woke whatever is can comedy be woke, is woke funny, blah, blah, blah. I think we'll look back on that in the way that we now look back on the Arab Spring, being like, oh, wasn't that funny that people thought that Facebook would topple dictatorships? Like, wasn't that funny? Why did we all think that?
You fucking idiot.
You're a fucking idiot. Everyone's like, we're gonna freedom. And it's like, you want fucking Facebook Marketplace, mate? What are you on about? Is it still available? Is this democracy still available? No? Oh, it's gone. All right. Thank you.
Have you seen the book?
It says it's democracy, but I've got here and it looks like I'm being imprisoned just for voting. That looks wrong.
Yeah.
Have you seen that thing about that woman who worked at Facebook who's written that book, like whistleblowing on the culture of Facebook?
Yeah.
She went from the UN to become the head of, maybe it was head of democracy at Facebook, like head of human rights.
Head of democracy.
Something like that.
Right.
It was like a real do-goodery thing. And she was like, and her attitude going in was like, we are going to change the world. And it sounds mental. It was only 11 years ago, but even thinking that about big tech.
They still think that though, those tech guys. They still.
Do you think? But it's not as hopeful. It's more it's darker now. They're going to change the world, but to the they kind of fascism versus human rights.
Yeah,
everywhere.
They have a. Well, I think some of them would think it's like anarchism. They think tech can solve everything, and that the government's kind of like an anachronism almost.
It's like everything is a problem that we haven't adequately come to the solution for yet. It's a kind of a coder or developer type way of thinking. It's like, well, we just haven't quite coded the way to fix this yet. But
it's dweebs. The dweebs are running the world. It's terrifying.
And they're on Ket.
Dweebs are on Ket, are they?
Elon Musk
loves it.
He's on the Ket, is he?
Big time.
Absolutely loves it.
Yeah, yeah. There was a clip over the
weekend.
We've
all done some dodgy salutes on the Ket, mate. We've all done it. We've all got too excited.
In Hamburg nightclub.
Hamburg nightclub. No, that is a big problem if you do that there. It's all about context. Why is he queued for 2 hours to come here and do that?
Yeah,
funny.
Yeah, it is funny. It's the funny thing to do, but
he created some kind of contraption this weekend.
A contraption,
like a mousetrap. Like those Honda adverts.
Honestly, he's at a table and it looks almost like a nucleus. He's taken all the cutlery off the table and interlocked it, so it almost looks like, and he's balancing it on his finger.
Why?
At the table, and he's just looking at it and sort of gently rocking, and.
That's a man who's got 14 kids. It's just like, what the fuck is it? What have I done? What have I done?
You're at the entry level where you're sort of hanging the spoon on your nose.
Yeah. I'm just,
you need another 12, and then you'll be...
So how many's got 14 kids?
I think it's 13, 14, yeah.
Christ.
And a lot of them are from IVF as well.
I think most of them.
From where?
IVF.
Oh, right, yeah.
Has it been explained why he...
It's suggested that he wants all boys. And so he's like choosing the embryos that have male chromosomes, whatever.
He wants to make a stag do. Because he's such a loser that he doesn't have 14 mates to go on his own stag. So he's breeding them.
A 20-year age
creep
gap.
this guy is. Yeah. Jesus.
But that's why you know how he's got one of his children is trans, and he holds her with like complete contempt. Someone suggests that is like part of the reason he holds her with complete contempt is that it's like market failure. Like he picked that embryo to be a boy.
Right.
And now...
Calling someone's transition market failure is fucking hilarious. It's so funny. But there will be people... Do you know what I mean? There'll be people in the comments now. But... I guess that's just the cost of doing business, isn't it? But it's so fucking funny. Market failure.
There was risk in this investment, wasn't there?
High risk, no reward.
This was in the small print, actually, Elon.
Yeah. Market failure.
She could become trans. Have we considered that eventuality?
Do you reckon people should close, like the stocks close every day, and you should have an update on your gender identity? Dicks are down, 3 points.
Depending on the direction of transition.
Yeah. Feeling quite feminine today, actually. Feeling quite diarised, quite on top of things.
We're up on birds. We're up on women
birds,
this weekend.
Sicily or Hamburg.
Yeah.
Well, because men are feeling... In fact, I saw a clip of... was it the head of Channel 4? Was she here?
Yeah, she was in that chair.
Yeah. Talking... I saw that this morning.
Did
she was talking about boys in a way that I was like, oh, so maybe boys are up now. If there's like this...
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Men have been down... Bad.
We've been beaten down for too long.
We're interested in boys now.
Well, no, it doesn't take much, does it, to turn it?
Yeah, exactly.
We've been beaten that, and then you're into the tape. It's tough, isn't it? It's tough.
That is what I was doing.
It's a fine line, isn't it? It's a tightrope walk.
I think we could start a men's rights movement, the three of us.
Yeah. I wouldn't pick us three to lead it.
Well, in a way, maybe it's good that we're soft-handed London wankers.
Mm-hmm. Speak for yourself.
Hard hands.
Hard hands over here?
No, soft hands.
Have you seen the guy on TikTok who conditions his hands with dog medicine?
No.
What? So there's a guy, I don't know why he's doing it, but he's trying to harden his hands. So he has a punching bag and he's strapped really coarse sandpaper to it. And he sort of, like Uma Thurman doing the 1-inch punch, is conditioning his knuckles. And then there's a dog medicine, which is a spray, which he sprays on his hand. And I don't know how, but it dries out the skin. And when he sort of runs his knuckles through his hand, it sounds like walking through snow. You know, the crunching.
To what end?
He wants to just have stone hands.
Like the thing?
Yeah. And interesting subplot. If you follow his wife complained. Ow! Yeah.
Fucking hell, here we go again. I'm just having one stone hands, love. Give me a break.
So he resolved he would begin conditioning only one of his hands, and in a quite curly and of mice and men,
holy shit,
would soften the other one.
How's he softening it?
Hand for his wife.
Oh my days.
What's the opposite of sandpaper?
What's the opposite?
I can't think of something quick.
Butter.
One punching bag with butter, one with sandpaper.
Punching butter.
Goat's milk. Big vat.
Do you know what? I feel my point in the kind of hangover, I'd love to punch a block of butter right now.
Yeah.
Softened butter. It'd have to be softened. That's the difficult thing,
Do you think,
isn't it?
I would be concerned about the surface tension, about whether or not your hand will actually go into
That's
it.
what I mean. It has to be softened butter. It's
sort
like when you're
10 seconds in the microwave.
Yeah.
Not
in the foil.
That would feel nice.
I need to pull up the noise. If you guys talk amongst yourselves for a second, I'm going to find this man, and you won't believe what it sounds like when he rubs his hands together. Genuinely. It's alarming.
Like that or like that?
He kind of does it like he sort of passes his hand over the top of his knuckles.
That sounds absolutely horrendous.
And it sounds bad as well.
Do you feel you have to be across things like this for invested to the internet?
No, because I've got Horatio and Vittorio who are always, they're the ones that are more ear to the ground.
Here we go. Sorry, mate.
Day 167 of spraying dog medicine on my hands in order to make the skin on my hands tougher. People describe the end of this video as a sensory nightmare, so if you can't handle it...
If you people who aren't watching, that noise, he's rubbing his hand on a block of wood.
Play again.
Skip now. Proceed at your own risk. You have been warned. Stick around until the end of the video to see if I...
You know how they talk about, you know how there's this thing about black people and lotion and how that's why their skin is so, they don't age as much because they're just always using lotion. There's like this cultural blind spot for white people. He's like the opposite of that, where he's just like making his hands as ashy as possible by rubbing them in sandpaper.
He looks like that. Who's the Northern Irish comedian?
There's only one.
Yeah.
No, there's many.
Yeah.
Sorry, he's
Victoria?
Shane Todd. No, he's like
Shane
Todd's,
Todd.
Shane Todd's friend. Kieran Bartlett?
Yeah,
he looks like Kieran Bartlett.
That was worth it.
You've just he's just reminded me why his justification for doing it.
Right.
Is he wants to be able to sand a piece of wood with his bare hands.
Now that, to be fair, that does sound fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to what end?
Well, because then you can say you can sand a piece of wood with your hands.
You know.
Oh,
is he a carpenter?
Look at this table.
I'm just about to paint this thing. Oh, just I mean, that's cool.
Different grits on different hands. You're like, I'll just give that one a nice fine key before I paint that. And this is the coarse boy for shaping.
That's someone who's got a house project going on. How is your house? Is it finished?
Yeah, nearly. Yeah, actually. Yeah, we got there.
Yeah, nice.
This sounds like a fairy tale that there'd be like some really stark moral lesson at the end of, like
the man who sandpaper. Yeah,
he's going to learn about
kind of thing.
Yeah. He's going to lose his driving license or something as a result.
What you'd have to listen. You'd have to not to go there, but you know when the urge takes him, what?
That's being toughened up as we speak.
What? But,
that's kind of like incremental, surely. It's getting used to that.
You think if he's wanking daily, then the cock's catching up to the
100%.
hands? Yeah.
But you'd need to that would need to be a deliberate program too.
Or this is the demographic that fleshlights were invented for.
It was just this guy. It's like a perfect loop. He invented it and went back in time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Have you accidentally hardened your hands to the point that it's painful for you to touch yourself? Don't worry, we've invented a sex toy for that.
Yeah.
Should we talk about politics?
Let's try.
Right.
Let's try. Go on. How far in are we? Yeah, good.
Speaking of fleshlights, what's Keir Starmer been doing? I'll get me back on the micro news for you.
I think calling someone a used fleshlight might be that's good. That's good. Yeah, I'm going to keep that one.
All right, keep that in your back pocket.
Yeah, I'll pretend
with
it's mine.
With your fleshlight.
Yep.
Care of as my own. How is Keir Starmer getting on, Ed? What's going on with him?
It just seems to be it's a difficult time for him because of all the decisions that he's making. Self-inflicted.
It's a bit like me this weekend. I've made all these decisions myself.
And I have to live with the consequences.
You guys are Starmer's portrait of Dorian Gray.
This literally, my comm strategy. It doesn't matter how good it is. The decisions are still not being taken well.
Absolutely.
And they're going where? Why? I don't know. I don't want to be here.
People are really unhappy.
Yeah.
This is going to be bad.
Yeah.
Huh. Guess I'm going to Hamburg anyway.
There's no consequences for me.
I think I'm done. I think I'm checking out of Starmer. I'm done.
You're done?
Yeah.
You've been done for a long time.
Well, I don't know if I was ever
By checking out, do you mean like you were a fan of him, or
No.
now you just you don't care what he does?
No, I wasn't.
You've never been a fan?
I've never been a fan of his.
I don't think you've ever said anything nice about him.
I must have said at least one thing
I actually
nice
don't think you
about him.
have. Try now.
I like his hair.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Good hair.
Good hair.
But I'd say best hair of a male prime minister since Callaghan?
Gordon Brown. Gordon Brown's good hair.
I guess so.
I guess contextually, because
but isn't it? It's just like it's sharp. It's like he looks like sort of he's in the 60s. So.
I quite like Blair because it feels very of the time.
Yeah,
it's extremely
there's
sort
a
of
Brent
90s
vibe to Blair. That's just great.
It's very 90s. It was 90s noughties coded, but yeah, I think Callaghan's a shout. Thatcher's is obviously nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, when that comes back in though, that's going to be London's going to be fucking deadly.
We are
like if these haircuts are back for blokes. When the perms come back for the
we're close.
Women, yeah,
I think we're close because it's Y2K.
Yeah.
I think 80s is we're probably due an 80s.
I think so.
Cycle,
I think
aren't we?
so. Yeah. Definitely.
Look forward to that. No, I don't think he can bring it back. Basically, I think Starmer is bad, and I think we're basically
that's some pretty hot politics takes. Starmer's bad.
I think it's very informed.
Hey guys, do you want to hear about the news?
It's
But not in a
very
sort of gay way. We'll listen to Politics Joe. I think Starmer's bad. Yeah, should we fuck us off and get a pint?
How's your mental health?
News is boring, isn't it?
We used to drink a beer. I'm glad we don't do that anymore.
Yeah, man.
Did you used to drink a beer
It
with
used to
this?
be the pubcast.
Oh, right, yeah, yeah.
And then
We can't call it that for
Legally.
copyright reasons, yeah.
and we used to drink a beer, and it didn't add much.
No.
There was one record where, I think, was it Suella Braverman resigned or got sacked? And I had a fucking Irish coffee.
I wasn't there for
It
that.
was like
Wow.
9 a.m. and it was like, oh, we can't not drink on the podcast.
I don't fuck with them anymore.
Yeah, I put scotch in a fucking black coffee.
That's new media for you.
It's pretty rock and roll. Starmer, bad. Whiskey in the coffee.
You want to hear this
Rock
on the
over here,
BBC?
guys. Yeah. How is your men's mental health, though? You okay? Yeah.
That's what is funny though, is that you're like, Starmer's bad, let's have a pint, and then you're like, Hugh Edwards, serious. Oh wait, well you're doing what? You know what I mean? There's like it's all hidden in it, and it's way worse.
Yeah. It's difficult to navigate the gear changes. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, the ones that I'm doing now.
Yeah,
Sorry, right. Yeah.
It's more observational.
But no, but I'm not changing. I'm always in sick. That's what you got to remember.
Yeah.
I'm always in sick.
Always.
I'm
Always
cruising at
very
100.
And we need
The problem is that I'm in the slow lane. And you need to get out of my way. Have you ever driven on the Autobahn? It is like that.
No.
Is
it true? Is it true?
There's 2 lanes,
Yeah.
right? And one of them is for trucks, because obviously Germany's like transport, it's like Clapham Junction for Europe. There's trucks going everywhere. And the other lane is basically, you see it and you try and overtake the truck, and then you just see a guy in a Beamer doing like 130 miles an hour, and then you see like it's like the downfall scene. He's like, and you're like, oh fuck, and then you've just got to floor it, and then the trucks don't stop, and you're trying to. It's like a mad. You ever done like lane shift on Peloton? Yeah. I guess it's like that. It's crazy. I mean, it makes you feel so alive driving in Germany.
no seatbelt.
Were you driving this weekend?
Oh fuck no.
Okay, just please.
No.
Yeah. No, I haven't. I haven't actually driven I only got my license like a year ago, so I haven't driven in a foreign country. But the Autobahn.
I've driven in
Cycling?
Thailand. Do I like cycling? No, I don't like cycling.
Sorry. I'm just trying to build a picture up in my head.
No, I don't like. My flatmate is very into cycling.
Yeah.
So you can
right,
you can sense that off of me.
You literally. In a podcast record last week, he walked in wearing a cycling helmet.
I cycle on like a line bike.
When was the last time you cycled?
On a line bike today.
There you go.
But I'm not a cyclist.
I think you're being intellectually dishonest.
Isn't this pathetic? By the way,
That's very interesting, though.
He's like, oh, Finn's here. He's the big dog. I'm going to turn on heads. This is so embarrassing. It's his podcast.
It's very interesting that you say you cycle, but you're not a cyclist.
Yeah, I think that's
It's just very interesting.
Why is that interesting?
Well, because you do that with anything, can't you?
Like,
I'm being racist. I'm not a racist.
I think. Well, I'm not a cycling enthusiast. Is that different? Is that helpful?
Well, I guess how often do you have to cycle?
I cycle to work,
So every day.
I'd say you're a
but
cyclist.
on a line bike.
Yeah, I'd say that that's doing quite a lot of heavy lifting. The fact you don't own a bike.
Yeah, I think context does matter.
But how have you got like one of those fucking caps that for some reason folds? Yeah, okay.
I don't.
Are you going to shops where you get nice coffee and a bike, your bike serviced? I don't know what.
No, because I don't own a bike.
Right. Yeah.
So I think we've got to the bottom of whether or not I'm a cyclist or not.
Well, yeah, I'd say you're
Ollie's desperate to say something. To get up, jumping at the.
Have you got lycra? Get up.
No.
Okay.
I think it's some mental gymnastics to say I cycle every day, but I am not a cyclist.
Yeah, that's what. First
of all, I'm going to put that out there. Second of all, you making out like I don't have a long and storied history of ganging up on you on this podcast.
I've never seen you do it, but there's normally more honour to it. It's
the manner in which I'm doing it. Right?
It's like it's never as obsequious as this. This is like doing you a real disservice.
This is beneath you. It's so gauche.
This is like Hitler Eastern Front. Fuck it, I'm going for you. Quick.
This is like
what the hell?
Like normally it's like. Oh, you're just making a joke at my expense. You're doing this to curry favour with Finn, and it's actually it's beneath you, to be honest.
Yeah, could be beneath me.
I think it is.
Did we try and gang up on him?
We're missing a president.
You made a good call. No, you made a good call. God, I wish it was me.
I think it's better to side with the comedian. You know, it's the don't sit in the front row at the comedy club. You can't win.
No. I don't want to win.
You're like Estonia going, do you know what, fuck it. Take us. Just have us.
I'm Ukraine.
Yeah. We're missing the presence of a strong woman.
Absolutely.
I think generally speaking, the pod is poorer without Ava, it has to be said.
Definitely.
Yeah. No, it's not, a snide remark about you. I think you're doing.
I didn't realise it was 1 in, 1 out. I didn't realise it was a.
Neither did we. She's in Runcorn.
At the Reform launch.
By-election thing. So
she's got a day off, has she? Ava, nominative determinism.
Yeah, so she's off campaigning.
How are you feeling?
Knocking on doors.
How are you feeling about Reform, Finn?
How am I feeling about Reform?
Yes.
I haven't thought about them since the election, but are they? They're there. I mean, are they? What's the? Go on, fill me in. What's the vibe? Are they making a lot of noise in Parliament? How many MPs have they got? Like
5.
No,
four.
Four now.
Yeah, they kicked out a guy.
Yeah, that will happen. Doesn't matter what you call your party, one of them's got to go. What was this one for? What did he do?
Had an opinion?
Yeah, right. Differential. But it's because the guy who beat up his girlfriend is still in the party. That's not a bridge too far.
Well, you got to have some centrists. You've got to have some moderating influence on the real crackpots in Reform.
But because they're down from 5 to 4, it's now a quarter of the parliamentary party that has beaten up a woman.
Yep.
So it's pretty bad. It's
hard to say they're a backbencher when they make up 25%.
and when they keep falling out with them, it's just going to go up.
Yeah. Could you imagine it gets to a third?
They kick out Tice.
He's the only one. You can't believe
100%.
He can't believe they didn't kick him out. So he's just hanging on to the bitter end. But Nigel.
But obviously, it's this weird kind of like world where they're making so much noise online.
Yeah.
It seems, versus their actual is that attention that's going to snap at some point, and it's going to bring. I mean, I don't know.
That is so that's part of the reason why this guy Rupert Lowe got kicked out is because I think Rupert Lowe's politics were very much. Of the online right. It's kind of, a hodgepodge of kind of deport all foreign criminals. He actually called for the deportation of people's family members as well. If someone commits a crime.
By association.
Yeah, guilt by association stuff. It's that mixed with, COVID jab is experimental, medical technology. It's very, what you would probably describe just like Twitter rightism.
Yeah.
And I think Farage is not that. And I think it's a conflict between Farage's more Thatcherite, traditional British rightist tendencies versus that new world. But it's interesting what you say, because of those, when they had 5 MPs, in the first 6 months of this parliament, half of all Twitter interactions on MP Twitter accounts were on the Reform MPs accounts. Right. So they are making a huge amount of... They command the attention economy, and if you look at America, you'd say that counts for something, right?
But do they? Because less than 10% of the country are on Twitter.
Yeah.
So, but again, it's like it's the loudest commenters, isn't it? YouTube comments makes you think, oh fuck, everyone's crazy, but only have a.
But I think of Twitter in the same way as almost as a newspaper these days, where they have declining audiences. Quite a lot of them, less than 100,000 people buy the paper, but in every news studio up and down the country, the papers land on the table, and it's from the papers that they decide what they're going to put on their programme, right? And in the same way, all of the kind of stakeholders in British politics and media are also on Twitter. So whilst you're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's a similar thing with comedy in that like a big thing happens on Twitter in comedy, and then journalists think, oh, comedy's in danger, and they're probably the same people who are like, oh, comedy's under threat, blah, blah, blah. And then you go back to what actually happened and say one person in a room of 400 didn't like a joke but has a big following. And so it's just spirals from there. Yeah. And it's like this sort of Hall of Mirrors thing where everything gets distorted. And then it gets printed in a paper so it looks real and legitimate, when in fact it's just one person didn't like a joke. It's a very similar thing, probably.
It's exactly that. And it's kind of, it has an outsized influence, I think, on... for one of it, it's sort of like taste making or like a thought shaping, opinion forming, where it's like the people who maybe, I don't know, they might have a big Instagram account and talk about politics on Instagram, but they're deciding what they talk about and how they talk about things via what they see on Twitter, and it kind of has a downstream impact on the rest of politics, basically.
It's easy. It's a easy but not a useful way of finding out what real people are thinking. Instead of going out and actually doing some reporting, say if it actually doesn't pertain to a piece that you are definitely going to publish, it's like a sense check almost. If you're an editor, just logging on and seeing what are people talking about, and as Twitter gets more and more mental, it's going to have more downstream consequences as a result of that.
The second part of my sentence, the Keir Starmer is bad sentence, was going to be, and I think reform could win.
Oh, right.
It's a maxim, isn't it?
You've got like cross-stitched in your kitchen.
This is the two options.
Darling, what are you doing? Nothing.
Keir Starmer is bad, and I think reform are good.
But they're also benefiting from like the popularity of reform in this country. The people who say they're going to vote for reform probably don't know who Rupert Lowe is, don't know about how popular he is online with Elon Musk. They still have the benefit of actually not meaning much to people. They mean all things to all people at this point. Like whether you are like an 80-year-old army veteran who wants to deport, or all foreigners, or you're a young guy who wants a job. Like there is like they have such broad appeal because they haven't defined themselves.
Yes, and
so clearly.
In the same way, what I was saying earlier about sort of having political opinions for 7 years and eventually alienating people, right? There's a long time between now and the next general election where, for example, reform's pro-fracking stance, for example, which is fracking obviously is like a relatively quite deeply unpopular thing in the country, but people don't know, for example, that they've supported it in the past. They might change it now in the future, but I can't imagine they will. It's like over the course of the next 4 years, as you build up to the election, you learn more and more about them and go, oh, do you know what? When I thought it was quite funny and there would be a vehicle for me to protest my dissatisfaction with the political consensus, actually, your stuff on tax, your stuff on Ukraine, your stuff on environment, I think is mental, and therefore now that I actually know something about you, I won't vote for you. Or maybe people just go, no, fuck it, let's fuck this whole thing up. Nigel for PM.
Yeah.
What a day that would be. What a day that would be.
Yeah, it would be. Nigel bad? Nigel good?
A good day or a bad day?
That's what we're asking for this country.
For the politics heads, for the newsos, is it a good day or a bad day?
Bad day.
The news junkies, though, will be absolutely frothing.
Big time.
They will be absolutely. They'll be reading the articles.
Yeah.
They'll be retweeting.
Is Farage bad? Help me make sense of the world, Politics Joe. Who's good, who's bad?
The A-level students are going to be so disappointed.
I'll tell you what, I did a talk at a sixth form college about politics.
With the guitar? Yeah.
Actually pretty cool when we talk about politics.
Don't worry, kids. Politics can.
I'm drunk right now.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Throwing horns?
I didn't throw any horns up, no.
Did you wear your leather jacket?
You went home to get it?
Baseball cap. Backwards.
Sunglasses.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, I took questions at the end. They only wanted to ask me about your show.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, genuinely. The first question
that must have been career damaging.
The first question was,
do you not be seeing anymore?
What's Finn Taylor like? I was like, right,
man,
okay.
That's so funny. They're sick. Yeah. They're sick form.
Yeah.
Christ, kids are watching it.
Yeah.
My word.
Young lads.
I'm not writing it for kids.
No.
It's the parents' fault.
Yeah.
For not monitoring their online.
Is my show in adolescence? Is that what that show's about?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You are culpable.
Yeah, really.
I'm surprised you haven't heard about it yet. Yeah. You are cooked.
I got a lot of letters with red things on that I ignored.
The famous quote from it is, "God, I loved watching Finn versus the Internet, and then I killed that girl."
I've not seen it, so
you don't know whether to laugh or not.
Don't know if that's funny or serious.
Play it safe.
Yeah, play it safe. That's a leave. That's a leave. I don't leave many things, but very, very middle order batsman as it is. But
that's one of them. I think are we nearing time?
I think so.
We're getting close.
I think we've
dealt with everything on this sheet, haven't we? Non-doms. Is that like female condoms? What was that?
Paedophile condoms.
Right, your words. And they're getting rid of non-doms.
Yeah.
Feels like they should be letting paedophiles have condoms. I'm driving in sixth. Get out the fucking slow lane. Get out my way. Get out the way.
Oh. Finn, presumably you came here to promote something.
Did I?
I don't know. Well,
He just wandered in.
Yeah,
he was in the area.
Sorry, he was in the area. Yeah.
We were just talking about doing this a lot.
Yeah.
I think maybe I was going to do this when I was on tour, but that was about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And then
And the
tour's finished.
New YouTube channel.
I do a history podcast called Finn vs. History, wherever you get your podcasts. Promote that.
That's great.
Thank you.
That was nice.
I appreciate the compliment.
Is Finn versus the internet going American?
At some point, it's logistically it's very hard to. The whole show is very high risk, high reward, as you found out. High risk, low reward, maybe. And it's just, I don't think people different rewards
For different needs.
for the guests, different people.
Just risk for guests.
Yeah, some people it is just risk. I should say that. Reward for me, risk for them. No, I don't think people. I think we're having a little break from it because I think people maybe don't realise how like just intense it is to make. Because we've got these guests for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we basically have to get everything in one take. And we're also now at a point where we're trying to choreograph, a barbershop quartet or some bodybuilders or something, something mental. And it's just, there'll be another series out this year, but we're just having a little break to retrial. Yeah, I think there's so much of stuff now. I mean, I say that obviously. My history pod does like 4 episodes a week, but I do think it's nice to used to wait for stuff. I think it's good, and I think everyone. You don't want to just do it to death.
No.
Do you dream guest?
I'd love to get Amelia de Moldenberg on.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, Rogan would be up there.
Just bones off of him.
Yeah. We are in this weird position. Now people are sort of wanting to do it. It's
really?
kind of changed. Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Does that make it less attractive?
No, I mean, Ollie wanted to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't approach you.
No,
Asked me.
no, but you were like, yeah.
Yeah, but it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if someone asked to be on it, would that put you off it?
Have you had
no.
to convince people round to doing it, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't book the guests anymore, which I think is good. I think it's good to separate church and state.
Which are you?
I don't know. Neither, I think. We'll make him more this year. Just it'll be, I don't know, a bit later.
All right. Well,
that sounds good.
I think this has been a slightly less fraught recording than the last time we did one.
Less fraught?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm not stressed now.
Okay, good.
Into that one. Apart the paedophile joke, the condoms for paedophiles thing was probably as close as it got just now, I think.
Well, he said that.
Did he?
I said non-doms or condoms for paedophiles.
Yeah.
And then Finn took it to the next
logical
jump, which I did not really contend with.
Look, if we're talking about paedophiles, condoms for paedophiles, right, which I did not bring up, then is it, it's a policy, isn't it? Would that make Starmer less bad? Paedophiles for condoms. Condoms for paedophiles. Condoms for paedophiles. Look, you can't stop them, so let's just... What's the next line of defence? It's condoms. It's rubber up. If you're going to do it, rubber up. Get out the slow lane. Get out the way. That's if you take two things from this podcast is that Starmer bad, condoms for paedophiles good. Who's running on that ticket?
They got my vote.
Yeah. The Finn cells.
Yeah.
Ed.
Hello.
Always a pleasure, never a chore.
Last episode ever?
Yeah, could be. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.